Hey friends, Kevin here, and today we're going to talk about the 3 mistakes most people make when they start out with their minivan, camper van, fifth wheel, RV, whatever it is that they're using, whatever their plans happen to be. 3 mistakes, let's get to it. Mistake number 1, we want everything to be perfect before we take off. We want to make sure we've bought the exact right vehicle and we have everything we need in it, and man, that's just not feasible. No matter how much you watch and study, and although you can learn a lot, and I hope you learn a lot from this channel, there are going to be things you're going to encounter that you just haven't planned on. There's going to be repairs that are going to have to be made. There are going to be breakdowns sometimes, even if you have a brand new vehicle. Things are going to come up. So understand that things are never going to be perfect. And if you're waiting to do this until everything is perfect, you may never get started. So my beginner advice is do something in some vehicle somewhere, even if it's for one night, just to get your feet wet. Because I can tell you, no matter how much money you have, no matter what you're trying to do, it will never ever be perfect. Mistake number 2 is simply having too much stuff, thinking you need all of this stuff before you take off. I can tell you, every long trip I go on, when I come back, I am dumping stuff, and that's if I haven't dumped it on the road somewhere by giving it away or throwing it away because I just got tired of moving it around. You only have so much space, especially in these smaller vehicles. Again, it's never going to be perfect. You're never going to have everything. You just want to have what you really need. Things are going to get you, and that's just the way it is. Take this Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky area that I'm in at the moment. It has been unseasonably warm. As a matter of fact, we have yet to have a night that really went under 70 degrees. Period. And we are way up past the middle of September. Now, at the time I'm doing this video, in the next 48 hours, we're going to plummet into the low 40s at night. So somebody that's been out in this area for months that doesn't have things they may need for when the weather turns cold, or vice versa, depending on where you're traveling. But if you're in a small vehicle, you just don't have room for all this stuff. And realistically, if I had been out for months and months and months, I would have nothing but football jerseys and shorts, and that's just the way it is. When I hit an area that the weather changes, I will go buy whatever I need. You don't have to have a lot of money to do this. You can go to a Goodwill or somewhere and you can find you a coat for $10 or less, or you can find you a sweatshirt for $3, which I've done before when I've been out and needed something. So the point is, you know, I don't need to drag those things 2,000 miles. But it goes not just for clothing, it goes for almost everything else you can think of. And the mistake that we almost all make is, again, trying to have everything with us to cover every situation that can come up. And again, no matter how much you do that, you're just not going to be able to. And even if you have unlimited money and you've bought everything new to cover every imaginable situation, I can tell you that somewhere when you're 20 miles in the middle of nowhere, your new Coleman stove or whatever you have, something's going to tear up. Again, that's just reality. Especially starting out, let's just look at the basics. And really the basics of all you need, if you say you have a minivan or an empty cargo van or whatever it is that you may be using, SUV truck, you pull the seats and stuff out, you can throw a sleeping bag in there and a pillow and get by for a night or two. You don't need cook stoves and refrigerators and solar and all these things you think you do. You may need a light of some type. If you're not in a real campground, you're going to need something to cover the windows with so somebody can't go by and look in at you. And other than that, that's really it. You could live for a couple of days on dollar cheeseburgers and, you know, drinks that you stop and buy. You can do this as a way of getting your feet wet and then slowly figure out exactly what items that you need and pick those up as you go. rather than try to fill every inch of space in whatever vehicle you have, whether it's a minivan you turned into a camper or whether it's a 29-foot RV. I've seen people fill every inch of usable space to the point they don't have any place to sit down. And they're going to spend all their time moving stuff from one place to another to try to get to whatever it is they need. And they're going to become aggravated, and it's going to suck some of the joy out of what they're doing. So keep things simple, especially in the beginning. Number 3. You've finally gotten over number 1 and number 2, and now you're on the road. Number 3, you're going too fast. When we finally do get out and get on the road, especially if we have a little bit of money, the things we start doing now, we have the entire country opened up. Whichever country you're in, whether you're in Canada, I'm in the United States, we have the whole country opened up. It's the same if you're in Europe or Australia or wherever you happen to be doing this. And so what we want to do, and I guess this is human nature, is we want to see everything this week. So you have people that go out and it's like they're close to the beginning of or the end of Route 66, and it's like, we want to do Route 66, and they're trying to do 2,600 miles in 4 days. Man, I didn't get into this to be an over-the-road truck driver. If I have to drive 600 miles a day, I expect to get paid for it. So this is my advice for those that aren't on the road yet but are thinking about doing this. When that time comes, take it slow. Do smaller, shorter trips where you're spending more time in a general area. It doesn't have to be stuck in the same campground for a week, but whatever area you're in, you know, in that 50-mile radius, you can easily spend a week going from place to place every day, staying somewhere different every night. If you're out west and in different areas with canyons and things, you can move half a mile and change your entire perspective and your entire view. In the east, where you have towns closer together, there are just so many things to explore. You may have multiple parks in the same little area, or waterfalls, or hiking trails, or whatever it is that turns you on. So, 1, it will save you a lot of money, and 2, you will be spending more time out in nature doing what you enjoy rather than booking it down the highway. So in my several years of doing this, these are the 3 mistakes I have seen almost everybody make. I've made at least 4 of these. Okay, I've made at least 2 of these, and if I was completely honest, I've probably done all 3. But I want to hear your opinions. Do you think I'm right about this? Do you think I'm wrong about this? Is there something that I left out that's another major mistake that you've made or you've seen other people make? Put that down in the comments. Let's get a discussion started, because we all learn from each other, and we'll talk soon.